What's up guys, Kara Corey here, and today we are going to make one of my favorites. It's going to be a individual mug cake, and we are going to make a carrot cake today. So all you need is a mug or a ramekin of some sort, and we're going to cook this in the microwave, so it's going to be a super quick way to give yourself a single serving treat that's going to be packed with protein and also good nutrition, because we're going to add some carrots into this obviously, which is a great source of vitamin A. For protein for this recipe, I am choosing today to use the MTS Cinegram, but feel free to adjust that with like a vanilla or whatever else you have on hand. So to get started, all you're going to need is a bowl, and we're going to start out by mixing our wet ingredients first. So we're going to first start out by adding our wet ingredients to the bowl, and I'm going to use canned, freshly sliced carrots, fresh cut sliced carrots. You guys can use raw if you want. I'm going to use the can because I find it adds a bit more moisture to the recipe. If you don't have carrots, easy substitution would be adding in some pure pumpkin, and that will taste just as good. So 1/3 cup of the sliced carrots are going in there. The next ingredient we're going to add for wet ingredients is just some sort of milk. I prefer the unsweetened cashew milk, so I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of that. And the last wet ingredient, yes, everything else is dry, we're going to add is just some pure vanilla extract. If you don't have this laying around, it's not a deal breaker, but it does help the recipe taste really nice. So we're going to add a 1/2 tablespoon of the pure vanilla extract. Now with this recipe, if you have like a NutriBullet or a blender and you want to just throw everything in the blender, you absolutely can do that. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that stuff. I don't feel like dirtying up a blender. So I'm just going to simply take my fork and go ahead and I'm going to mash the carrots and kind of mash what I already have in there. So for our wet ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and add in my Cinegram protein. I've got a full scoop right here. I'm actually not going to add the full scoop. I'm just going to kind of eyeball and try to do a 1/2 scoop. If you want to do the full scoop, go ahead. It's up to you and your like protein needs. It looks like 1/2. We're gonna go with that. So 1/2 scoop. For flour, I'm gonna use some whole wheat flour. You could use oat flour, you just use oats, coconut flour, whatever you like. And I'm gonna add 1/4 of a cup of my whole wheat flour. Next, this is optional. I am gonna add some ground flaxseed to this. This is gonna help add again a little bit more nutrition by adding a little bit more fiber to this recipe, and it will help thicken it up a little bit too, but again, it's optional. It's not going to change the flavor too much whether or not you add it. And I'm just going to add a little. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of this flax, the heaping amount. To make this product rise, we're going to use a combo of baking powder and baking soda. I'm going to use 1/4 teaspoon of each. Now to sweeten this up, you have some options. You can use whatever you like for sweetness. I like using the Splenda brown sugar combo for carrot cake, but you could certainly use stevia, Splenda, sugar in the raw, whatever you guys like. I'm going to use a full tablespoon of my brown sugar Splenda. And with the brown sugar Splenda, you kind of want to pack it in there and then go ahead and dump that in there. Next is not going to be measured. I'm going to add some ground cinnamon. This is Saigon cinnamon, and it actually is really good if you guys find this at like a TJ Maxx or Marshall's, or probably like your grocery stores as well. It's got like a really distinct cinnamon taste, like more distinct than cinnamon. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a little bit stronger. So we're just going to sprinkle some of that in there. And anytime I do a baked good, I like to add a little bit of salt in there. It just helps all those flavors kind of come together. So a couple of cranks of salt, and we're ready to go. I'm going to stir this all up again and get our cake consistency. So once you've got it all stirred together, you're going to get this nice, delicious looking carrot cake batter. You can mash it up as much as you want. I kind of like leaving a little bit of chunk there to the carrot. So what we're going to do is take whatever dish, microwave safe, that you want to cook it in, and we're going to spray that. I'm just going to give it a little spray so it doesn't stick. And then just go ahead and dump that all in there, and we're going to place it in the microwave for 1 and 20 seconds. And if you want to play around with this and you prefer to bake it in the oven, you could absolutely do that. You don't need to adjust the ingredients whatsoever. Going in the microwave 1 and 20 seconds. So you can't have carrot cake without having cream cheese frosting. So my staple go-to frosting recipe is just gonna be a combination of fat-free cream cheese along with plain Greek yogurt. So take equal amounts of both of these. I pretty much used, since I'm just making a single serve portion, I took like a heaping tablespoon or two of each of them, mixed them in a bowl, and what I did is I added just a little bit of sweetener to it. I used the better stevia French vanilla, and then I also sprinkled a little bit more of my Cinegram protein in there, and that just makes like a nice delicious sweet cream cheese protein frosting. So a minute and 20 seconds in the microwave, and you will notice your cake will kind of start to puff up a bit. It does fall a little bit, but our whole mug is filled with our carrot cake, so it's in right there, so you get a nice big thick piece of cake. I'm gonna go ahead and dump this out into the plate. So if you want to have a little bit of fun with this, I dump this onto the plate, or you could eat it right out of the mug. That's fun too. I'm just gonna cut it in half. I'm gonna frost the middle of it and then frost the outside. Oh my God, that looks so good. All right guys, so after you have it all frosted, my last optional topping is to add some crushed walnuts or crushed pecans to the top. I just think it accents the flavors really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle on like a tablespoon of crushed walnuts. And there you go, you have this giant ass piece of healthy carrot cake, single serve, so you can have it in one sitting and not feel tempted to keep going back for more. This should definitely satisfy you guys. I'm gonna leave the nutritionals for you for just the plain cake alone. I'll leave directions for the frosting, but I'll just do the nutritionals on the cake so you guys can dress it up how you like. Hope you guys give this video a try, give this recipe a try, and if you like it, give that video a thumbs up. Keep checking back for more.